Hey everybody, I'm Keychain. This video is going to cover the patch notes for Diablo Immortal. The patch is going to go live on July 20th, which is tonight. And they've added some new things and the new class change mechanic. Now, you can all go and read this yourself. So this video is going to be for people who either want to listen rather than reading through it themselves. They want to hear somebody else's opinion on it, or you just like my videos, whatever it is. So we'll get into it. Basically, the class change, it allows you to keep all of your progress as far as your Paragon levels, your spec, your gear, sort of. And we'll go over what I mean by sort of. So here they kind of talk about their, philosophy behind class change and why people might want to change class, because I did notice, I do love my first class. I love the wizard, but I started a second class as an alt, and I made a demon hunter, and I don't like it. To be perfectly honest, compared to the wizard, as far as a range class, I don't like the gameplay. So I'm excited to be able to switch that class. So first off, you can only do this once every 7 days at no cost. So be very careful with this. I think this is too long for a class swap. And the reason for that is if somebody's kind of on the fence and they don't like their character, and then there's well, maybe it's the class. I'm going to change class because this other class beats me all the time in PvP, or it looks fun. And you switch classes and you don't like it, you're stuck. Now, they said that they added a way in here to immediately revert. But what does immediately mean? So it's kind of up in the air. So I don't know exactly how things are going to work, but I worry that some people are going to try the new class, be stuck, and then not play for 3 or 4 days until they're allowed to class change again. And during those 3 or 4 days or 5 days, they might decide, well, maybe I don't want to come back at all. And you're going to lose players that way. So I think 7 days was too long. Now, this is the other piece. Upon changing to each class for the first time, you'll be granted placeholder gear. So the placeholder gear will have an equivalent rank to the previously equipped gear of your last class. Now, do they mean rank as far as the score system and that terrible score system that they have that makes no sense? Or is it actually like combat rating? Like if you have a 200 combat rating chest, are you getting an equivalent 200 combat rating chest for the new class? That's kind of up in the air. I personally am not going to be testing it on my main. I will test it on the alt, but my alt has terrible gear, so it's going to be hard to really know if it's equivalent gear. And then it says here that cosmetics and gear will not carry over. So if you have cosmetics owned for, say, a wizard and you change class, those cosmetics stay with the wizard. So if you purchased with orbs one of those special sets, it stays on the class that you purchased it on, which I think that's a terrible system. I don't see why they couldn't have just let the cosmetics come with you, because basically if you've been playing the game up till now paying money for cosmetics and the way that you look and you want to switch classes, now you have to repurchase those things and they're just lost forever to you on that character. That's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. I think they need to reconsider that because it's terrible. Just my opinion on that. Now, here's another new feature. This feature is called the Hero's Journey. And basically this is being added to the game as a permanent feature that you unlock once you get through the frozen tundra for your objectives. So down here it talks more about this. But once you've gone through the main quest line and you've unlocked frozen tundra, you unlock this Hero's Journey. Now the Hero's Journey right now has 4 chapters with 2 more planned in the future. And it's going to reward things like gold, platinum, aspirant's keys, legendary crests, and a portrait. So you can see some of the things up here. I don't know if this is for the chapter or if this is for the entire thing. I hope this is just the chapter and that you get these rewards for every chapter, or they get better as they go. But seeing as completing all the way through chapter 4 is the portrait is one of the big deals that they put on here, this might be the rewards for all of it, which would be kind of underwhelming. There are some things that kind of jump out here that make it seem like it could potentially be a challenge. But one of them is delivering 10 warband chests. So that's a pain because warband chests, I only get like 2 or 3 a week. Um, and I don't know if other people have a different experience with that, but I mean, that's a lot of warband chests. So this will be the thing that holds some people up, me included. It'll probably take me a few weeks to be able to complete this one. 4 set pieces of the same set, challenge for 50. These are things I've already done, and I'm guessing that chapter 1 and 2 are going to be mostly things that I've already completed. So I'll probably blaze through a lot of that. We'll just have to see kind of how it goes, and we'll find out tomorrow. But, that's what it is. Now, on the next event, Adventurer's Path Limited Time Event. So this one is, it looks like it's almost a 2-week, it is a 2-week event. And basically in this event, you're going to do different tasks along the adventurer's path. So kind of like the moon tasks, but hopefully maybe a little harder. But basically you get a long-term goal as well. So as you get the basic gold and dust and scrap materials, things that, whatever, you're getting extra stuff for just doing daily tasks. But you're going to get more keys, another portrait frame, and another legendary crest. So you can see that they're starting to make these events more frequent, and they're starting to add legendary crests to these events. Now, if they always had at least one event going, then you could guarantee yourself that you're going to get at least 2 legendary crests per month, just from doing special events. And I would prefer like this event to be a 1-week event with this one crest and like run 4 months. You're getting at least 4 legendary crests a month. Or stacking some of these events like other games where you've got, certain events that if you know it's coming, you save X, Y, and Z for Saturday. Don't turn this until Saturday because on Saturday the new event starts and it stacks with with event A and event B stack on Saturday, and you can double up by turning everything on. And I like those sort of like maximizing things. So hopefully they continue to create more events, and I don't care if they reuse events. If they reuse events, that's totally fine with me as long as the rewards are good. I'm okay with them reusing events. I'll do the same event over and over and over again as long as it's giving me stuff that I want. So, next, new Reliquary boss, Gorgathra the Claimer. Very creepy there. Like, that's a super creepy face. Kind of awesome. I don't know how hard this boss is going to be as far as the combat rating goes, but hopefully it's not picking up above VIT 3 because I haven't even done VIT 3 yet, and this is not till August 2nd, so it's still 2 weeks away, but we're barely going to get to VIT 3 and then this boss is going to come out. So hopefully it staggers a little bit and maybe this boss has like a level 1 at like 2800 or something, so that by the time it gets there, a lot of us will be in the 3k range and we'll actually be able to clear rank 1 of this without having to wait too long. But basically it talks a little bit about the boss, and she basically petrifies. She has venom, serpent strikes, like there's a lot, and it says it dwarfs the power of Lysol and Vitoth, so there's going to be more mechanics, things you have to pay attention to, and seems like a lot of damage. So this could be fun. We'll just have to see how the fight actually goes when it comes out. And I never actually did like a VIT guide. I meant to do that and I recorded, but I never actually put it out. So if anybody's watching and you still would like, I don't know, guides on the raid bosses that are existing, I can do that. Just let me know if that's something you're interested in, and I will try my best to cover those events and create a quick guide for them. Hungering Moon event is back. So what I was talking about above is this event can be done, like they can play this every weekend. You know, it's a little 3-day event. I would be fine if it was every single weekend was Hungering Moon and they had other events in between, because a legendary crest, aspirant's keys, and the other chance at stuff like the, crafting materials, like I'm fine with that. Yeah, they could make it a little better, like adding in some regular gems or some hilts or some rare crests, like other things that we actually want more than scrap. But all free stuff is good stuff. I'm one of those players that, like, yes, events could be better, but everything you get for free is fine with me, even if it's tiny little things, because, you know, that's what this game is about, just collecting and hoarding and trading things for other things and increasing your character's power. So I'm fine with all of it. It looks like it has the same rewards as last time, so you'll get keys, a legendary crest, and some rare crests. Out of the 9 blessings, you have a chance to earn more keys, more glowing shards, dust, gold, all the stuff and things. So that event's back for the weekend of July 29th to July 31st. So, be on the lookout for that. And remember that they've told us about this ahead of time now. This last time the event hit, they gave us free Battle Pass points. When this event comes out the next time, I would almost guarantee that they are not going to give out free Battle Pass points, because they have given us 10 days notice. They will say, we told you ahead of time this was coming. If you max your Battle Pass out Monday through Tuesday, or Monday through Friday, and you don't have anything left for the weekend, that's your fault. So pay attention to this. I will remind people when we get to that week not to max your Battle Pass before the weekend. So, if you don't heed the warning here and it happens, sorry to say. Next is the Amber Blades cosmetic set. For me, I don't really get into the cosmetics unless they're like given away. Like in the Battle Pass, cool. But this one's being added to the regular store for Eternal Orbs, so I will never buy this. And I won't spend real money on cosmetics. It's just something I don't do. Like, if the only thing I got from the Battle Pass was cosmetics and nothing else, I wouldn't buy it. So that's not why I purchased the things. Like, yeah, it's cool, but cosmetics aren't my thing. Next, feature updates. So this one's awesome, right? Completing a weekly Warband raid will now allow you to purchase an Eternal Legendary Crest for 1600 Platinum from the Crest Merchant. So this gives another incentive to actually being in a functioning warband, because right now the warband system is kind of meh. It's not super exciting. But this is awesome because it for people who are able to do a warband raid and people that want to participate in an active warband, this gives you a reason to do that. And having to do at least one weekly warband raid for an Eternal Legendary Crest, like, I'm in. So that gives us once a week an Eternal Legendary Crest for 1600 Platinum. And seeing as if you do your dailies every day, you will earn 2100 Platinum in a week. This is basically 4 free Legendary Crests a month based on just doing your dailies. So this is awesome. Do a Warband raid, do your dailies every day, and you'll be able to get more Legendary Crests. Another change that they added, Fading Embers. Now the Fading Ember cap has been increased from 200 to 280. They don't say anything about the bonus Fallen or Fading Ember cap, so that's not going anywhere. That will probably stay at, I think it's 120. But this for regular your own rifts, increasing from 200 to 280, means that you can do 10 more rifts for 8 dust each every week. And now you can trade in 22 of the Fa runes for an Eternal Legendary Crest. So what that means is now, rather than having to wait every other week, if you are capping your Fading Embers to 280 and your bonus Fading Embers of 120, you now have enough to purchase 22 Fa runes per week and get another Eternal Legendary Crest. So now we're up to 8 Legendary Crests per month that you can earn for free by playing the game. On top of the events that we just talked about previously, that if they start running them are maybe 1, 2, 3 a month. So now you're up to somewhere in the 11 or 12 Eternal Legendary Crests per month. And And that's starting to get more along the lines of where I like to see a game as far as free-to-play players. Like 10 crests in a month is amazing. Like that's one really good run, and yeah, sometimes you're going to get screwed and only get 10 gem power out of that, but there's always a chance. You see it all the time. People who get one eternal legendary crest from their dailies and they get a 5 out of 5 gem and they sell it for 600,000 platinum and now they're set and they're like a free to play player that now has double your resonance and you've spent $200 and you're like, well, you can either accept this system or be pissed off about it. But I'm the one on the other side hoping that I can stay a low spender and maybe catch some luck somewhere along the way. Additionally, in this patch, they added new monster affixes. Shell summons a defensive shield preventing life loss until it's destroyed. That just seems very annoying and kind of let's see. It seems like they're trying to make the damage to shielded enemies a more powerful affix on your weapons and your other gear. So I don't know. It just seems like if you're in a really tough challenge rift and you hit this shell affix, that it's going to slow you down unnecessarily. So I'm not a super fan of that. Siphon channels a draining beam at one target that slows and leeches life to heal for 5 seconds. If this is anything like some of the skills that the cultists have, where they have a non-stop drain, or some of the demons have it as well, and it just melts your health. You can't get away from it. Like you can't outrange it, you can't run in circles to dodge it. It locks onto you and it just wrecks your health. I absolutely hate it. So having this added to the monster affixes does not make me happy. Okay, so then they fixed the description on some of the gems. So Swenson's Haunting, they changed the ability description. So instead of saying that, a dark beast was summoned, it's not a summon ability. So they've changed it to when you defeat an enemy, a dark beast attacks nearby enemies, dealing base damage. Cannot occur more than once every, X seconds. So they've changed the description to be more in line with what the gem actually does. And they did the same for Blood-Soaked Jade because not everybody understood exactly how Blood-Soaked Jade worked. The way that Blood-Soaked Jade actually works is it increases all the damage you deal while you're at full life, with a minimum bonus at low life. And the movement speed is flat. So basically, as you lose health, your Blood-Soaked Jade loses efficiency. So it's incentive if you're running Blood-Soaked Jade to one, not get hit, but two, to use potions and keep your health full when you have the opportunity to get it back up, because you're going to do more damage while you're at full health. And then this last one, they added 36 new class legendary items to the game. Now, I don't play the other classes. I'm only wizard. So these, I'm not going to read through all of them. I apologize for that. If you were just listening and you wanted me to read stuff out, like these don't mean anything to me, so I don't know if they're significant or not because I don't play the class. I don't know the skills. Like, I don't know how good this is or terrible this is for Barbarian, all of these pieces. They also don't say which piece these are. Like, it reads it off, it says compromise is lost, and it tells you that ground stomp rips the ground open, but it doesn't tell you if they're boots, a helmet, an offhand. Like, you can't really start theory crafting a build yet until you know where these pieces lie. If I was going to guess for Blizzard, each one of these would be a piece. So the top would be a helm, the second would be a chest, and then a shoulders, and then, it would go down the line. And offhand and main hand, like they would have one for each, and that's probably why there's 6 for each class. Is there's one for each slot. So here's the ones for Crusader. There's a guy on Reddit who made some really nice graphics that summarize these and put them in a nice little chart to put the abilities on one side and the name of the item on the other for each class. Go check that out on Reddit. There's some really nice graphics and things that people are doing for these already to make it easier to read and figure out what the new abilities do. Here's the ones for Demon Hunter. I am going to talk about the Wizard though. So if you're a Wizard, I actually will talk about those because I know the class and I know what sounds good. So here's the ones for Monk. Now moving down to Necromancer. And feel free to pause the video if you want to read these, or you can go to news, I think it's news.diablo.com, or just search Diablo Immortal News and you'll find the official Blizzard website with this post. Alright, so now we're into the Wizard. Now, this is exciting for me. It gives me some theory crafting, makes me want to change my build. But the first one is called the Aimless one. An Arcane Torrent now launches missiles at random enemies around you. So previously, Arcane Torrent only launched at a targeted area. It was not very good because it was hard to control and it didn't do that much damage. Now with them launching at random enemies around you, if they're secret missiles at all, it'll be amazing for PvP. The Enervators. Ray of Frost now creates an ice shield each time it damages an enemy, absorbing X damage and stacking up to 10 times. That's awesome. A 10 times stacking Ray of Frost shield is amazing for Battlegrounds because Ray of Frost had you just sitting there as a sitting target. I think this is great, and it will probably make me replace my ice armor to use Ray of Frost, depending on how long the shield lasts as well. Because if the shield only lasts for like while you're channeling or for a second or two after, probably not as good. But if it lasts for like 5 seconds after you're done channeling, it's pretty good. I like it. Fire Flurry. So Scorch now hurls a ball of magma that bursts when it strikes an enemy, creating a pool of magma that burns and stuns enemies. Now, the way this is written, there's two ways to interpret it. We have a lot of burning ground effects, but I think this is an actual burn, a damage over time burn, similar to what the little fallen fire starters have, where they throw their Scorch through, and even if it just brushes you and does damage, then it burns for a huge amount. And I think that's what this is, but we'll have to confirm once we get the item. The next item is 99 Wind Arcana. So Arcane Torrent damage increased by X%, probably 10% because all of them are 10%. I don't know why they put X% because all of the main abilities that have increased damage right now are 10%. So Meteor, not Black Hole. Meteor, Arcane Wind, all of those, they're 10% flat. So I'm guessing that's what that is. So you can add the Aimless one and 99 Winds together to get better Arcane Torrent and increased Arcane Torrent damage. Now this one's really interesting. Waking Invocation. Ray of Frost now creates an illusion that channels a beam of frost in the targeted direction. Now the reason I think this is interesting and could be amazing, if you throw down an ice crystal and you're channeling Ray of Frost into it, and now your illusion is channeling Ray of Frost into it, or channeling into it, do you have two beams now channeling into that? And how long does the illusion last? If the illusion lasts for like 3 seconds, you could channel Ray of Frost for 1 second, have the other illusion start channeling into the crystal to continue Ray of Frost, and then you start disintegrating into the crystal. So now you've got both beams going at the same time, one from your illusion, one from yourself. Then as soon as your illusion disappears, you switch, channel Frost again for a second, till the illusion comes back, then switch back. So you can kind of, back and forth between Frost and Disintegrate to get multiple beams going and just have crazy damage coming out of that crystal. We'll see how that goes, but that seems pretty cool. And finally, Weathering Eye. Arcane Wind now also applies X reduction to movement speed for Y seconds. I don't know what that will be. I'm guessing it'll be a 10% reduction for 5 seconds. But this is cool because it makes Arcane Wind, one of my main PvE build abilities, have a slowing effect. So that allows me to do some better kiting in rifts and We don't really need it for any dungeons or anything right now. It's, dungeons are kind of easy, but, in the challenge list when I'm really pushing, having Arcane Wind be able to slow enemies is going to be great. So I really like this one as well. The problem is based on where these are landing in the queue, unless they just have no order, Weathering Eye sounds like it could be a helmet, which would be great because it would go with the build. But if Weathering Eye is like an offhand, it completely ruins my build. Like I have to choose either movement speed or, having a second charge of Arcane Wind. And I don't think that having it slow would be as good as having a second charge of Arcane Wind. So that's really it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you do enjoy this kind of content, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And again, thanks for watching. Remember to hit the like and the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.